Item SCP-567. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Site-41 has been established at the former castle for the purpose of containing SCP-567. The entrance to SCP-567 is to be kept sealed at all times. All cell doors are to be monitored off-site via CCTV. In the event that a door is opened or breached, Task Force Delta 9 Hacks is tasked with containing the instance of SCP-567-9 immediately. If containment proves impossible, termination is authorized. Because of the nature of SCP-567, and the proximity to it that TF Delta 9 will be working, to join TF Delta 9 an applicant must have clean criminal record, have never committed any crime, even at the orders of the Foundation, be of moderate political beliefs, have strong convictions as to the importance of upholding the law, have a strong fear of offending others with their actions. Description: SCP-567 is located in the dungeon beneath Site-41, located in Data Expunged. It consists of a series of 8 cells, designated SCP-567-1 through SCP-567-8. With the majority of people objects, the cells remain inert. However, when individuals meeting certain conditions come within 2.5 meters of a cell door, shackles will materialize and launch from the inside of the cell, restraining the subject and dragging them within. Once the cell door closes and locks, both the subject and shackles vanish, leaving behind no trace of any kind. Each cell appears to have its own unique trigger conditions in order to activate, which seem to involve committing some sort of criminal or heretical act. 1. Cell Trigger Conditions. SCP-567-1. Individual has committed theft. SCP-567-2. Individual has committed rape. SCP-567-3. Individual has committed murder involving data expunged. SCP-567-4. Individual has committed murder involving data expunged. SCP-567-5. Unknown. See Addendum 567-01. SCP-567-6. Data expunged. SCP-567-7. Data expunged. SCP-567-8. Unknown. SCP-567-8 is unique in that, unlike the other cells which all stand empty, it contains a single wooden chair. The chair is nailed to the floor in the center of the room, and appears to be many years old, though it does not rot. SCP-567-8 has never activated. On rare occasions, the cell doors of SCP-567 will open and release an entity, given the designation SCP-567-9X, the X being replaced with an integer. SCP-567-9 usually takes the form of a previously undiscovered creature, and is always aggressive. Once out of its cell, SCP-567-9 typically attempts to break out of SCP-567. There seems to be no common trait of the creature's given designation SCP-567-9, except that they tend to be very aggressive and relatively intelligent. As well, every instance of SCP-567-9 has had burn marks around its appendages. See Incident Report Log 567-4012 for details. On only 2 occasions have individuals placed inside a cell by the Foundation reappeared. In the first instance, D-903,912 escaped from SCP-567 368 hours after being placed in it. Subject was suffering from severe injuries, including several lacerations, internal bleeding, and burn marks around his wrists and ankles. D-903,912 died several minutes after reappearing, before TF Delta 9 could reach him. In the second, D-937,122 appeared 157 months after being placed in SCP-567-6. D-937,122 attacked Foundation personnel on site, despite also having suffered serious injuries including head trauma, several missing fingers, and burn marks around her wrists and ankles. Once restrained, D-937,122 was interrogated by a member of Task Force Delta 9. See audio log 567 937,122.